Hello, this is another 988 Jake, 988 Supervisors of Jake. Um, Today I had to put my 17-year-old dog to sleep, and I'm quite hurt and need more people to talk to since I don't have hardly any friends. I have this one friend that has schizophrenia and don't know how to talk to me. He goes, "Well, I don't know what to do." I said, "If you just talk to me," but he don't. And I have this other friend that's 5 hours away that don't like to talk about suicide because she's had quite a few friends that committed suicide. And so I call 988, and Jake tells me to keep calling if I'm suicidal. And since I've been on a restriction because of Jake. They only allow me 3 times to call and for half an hour out of 24 hours. And I'm saying a multiple personality disorder. So they egg me on and push me to hurt myself. And then when the restrictions are on and I call and they tell me they can't talk to me, they'll just say, "Are you suicidal?" And I say, "Yes." And then say, "Do you think you're going to hurt yourself?" And I say, "Well, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't have any chance. I don't have any power for some of my thinking. Not always. Especially with the multiples." And they hang up on me over and over and over. And I complained, and I thought the complaint was going to help me, only for them to not do anything. And I asked for the supervisors, and they never call me. And to me, it's like 988. As long as the supervisors don't give a shit, how's anybody else going to give a shit about their people that are asking for help? And all I need is somebody to talk to. But when I'm not allowed to talk to, the child inside of me's feeling rejected and feeling punished. And they say, "We care about you," but they hang up. Well, we have that restriction that you have, that you've already overran them. And I said, "Would you just get your supervisors to talk to me? I want it straightened out. I want it done. I don't want the restrictions anymore. I've been more suicidal since the restrictions than before, and I was doing so much better." And then they'll mention, "Well, why don't you talk to your family?" What family? What friends? What church? And how comes Jake don't answer the phone anymore? And how comes not one of them says, "I'll talk to our supervisor"? A couple of them have, and all they say is she feels rejected. Well, hell with that. I mean, feeling rejected is different than being rejected and suicidal. Feeling rejected, everybody has felt rejected in their life, I'm sure. But they don't add the feeling of rejection means I'm suicidal, and who cares? Especially if not one of your family members ever talked to you during the year. And I tried to call my nephew, and he hung up. I don't know. And they all think that people with degrees are amazing, wonderful gods in this world. They know everything about human beings, and they never even tried to find out who I am. I went to this church to get help for my electric bill because I didn't have the money to buy dog food. My dog that I put down, because I felt guilty because I didn't get her the right food. She had food. I mean, I did give her food, but she didn't even notice it was food. And I feel guilty because I didn't get to feed her fresh pet, or even ground rabbit. I have rabbit, but I don't have a way of grinding the meat. And I didn't have money for gas in my car, but somebody helped me. I mean, the guy that owns the gas station said this is the last time he'll help me. But I had a reason. I had to put my dog down. 17-year-old dog, miniature pincer. I've had her for almost 10 years. So, I'm really frustrated and hurt tonight because my 3 times was over with, and everybody says, we understand, but we gotta hang up from you. And every time I call back, because I'm hoping somebody will talk to me, and they don't, and I get New Jersey, they talk to me, and I feel a little better for a little while, and then all the feelings of rejection and punishment come up in my head, and I don't know how to deal with it. I don't know. Nobody really helped me for my childhood. I went to 35 years in therapy, and not one of them asked me about my childhood. Not since 1993, when they worked with my multiple personality disorder just for a year. And they left, and I left, and went to Illinois, and Illinois sucks. 98 Illinois is the only one that puts restrictions on people. Illinois sucks. Pritzker, you suck. Whoever you have fixing this 988 program, they don't know what they're doing. And when I complain to representatives, they hang up on me when they hear my voice. Someday you all will hear my voice, because I'm part of Trump's campaign, sort of. I mean, I talked to him about what he could say or what he could think, or probably things he probably already thought, but maybe he thinks it's interesting that I tell him the same thing. Maybe I've always enjoyed talking to him or finding things to maybe congratulate him or tell him he's my spirit brother, or he's been Caesar in a long last life, or quit talking about his name being taken off the ballot because we have a place to put his name on. Or I enjoy it. Even he asked me who's the next vice president going to be. I said it's going to be me. I laughed. I said, better looking than Biden, and can do a better job than Biden, but Kamala probably is prettier. I don't know. I've seen pictures of her, but I've never really liked my looks. But when I look back at old pictures, I'm not too bad as a child. But I wished thought I was pretty then. You have a family that hates you, don't like your looks. Straggly hair is my aunt's description of me. Straggly hair like a witch, pig nose, and my lips are big and the N-word. How am I supposed to care about myself? I love myself. I didn't have anybody in my family show me any love. And when I got to go outside and play with the kitty cats, they were my love. They loved me, and my aunt hated me more for when I loved my animals. But that's all I've ever had all these years. I'm 65, and all I've had to love is the animals. And they're the only thing that loved me back. And the restrictions on 988 have hurt me deeply. I was doing better, starting to get better, starting to feel comfortable talking about things that were in my head that I didn't think were sane, maybe. Like just walk outside and feel suicidal. Well, after thinking, why do I feel that way? Because I was sexually abused at the age of 7 and I had to go outside to the barn. And why do they always want me to talk to some therapist? Because all they're supposed to do is turn me to a place to talk to, or referral somewhere, which Hancock County don't have, but the one therapist mental health center that screwed me over, took my money. I lost my show dogs. I don't have any dogs to show. That was the only love I had. The only thing I could do and go around and talk to people about their new breed of dog, and I could take my little dog out in the ring and the judge could tell me what's wrong or like what he liked. And my dog Flower was a natural ear miniature pincer. That was my goal. I almost had the goal I spent 40 years trying to get. Natural ear miniature pincer champion. And I could prove to other people that those ears don't need to be cropped. At the mental health center, took my money and wouldn't let me out of the apartment, so I couldn't buy a house. And tonight, I want to cut myself because of 988, more so than the loss of my dog, because I wanted to talk about the loss of my dog, but I already used up 3 calls, right? Yeah, there's other places to call, New Jersey mostly, but not all of them want to talk to me, or they think that they're doing right by sending me somewhere else or telling me I need to have a therapist or whatever. I've been trying therapists here and there, and I didn't like the one from Monmouth or Galesburg, or I mean not Galesburg, but Aquaka or Stronghurst. And another one called me and she was sick and so they didn't make the appointment. And so I have one more chance. But I really don't want a therapist. I would like to be able to talk about my struggles with being abused. And if anybody wants to send this to Dr. Phil, I'd appreciate it immensely. I can't say words right sometimes. Immensely. Because I would like to get the supervisors and Jake and me and Dr. Phil on TV. I can't tell you other than showing dogs ever I had any enjoyment of life. People say they get it when they call, and I've been over 3 times. Well, I've been 5, 6, 7. There's sometimes it's not Illinois that answers, so it doesn't count. So now I don't know how many times I've called, and I don't really give a shit. Because I have nobody in this house. Got birds. My dog. That dog. A mess on the floor from my old dog. No people live here. Just me. Some rabbits on the porch. A couple chickens. Would it be wrong to end my life? Because I can't deal with the restrictions on 988. And because I can't deal with being alone. I can't deal having to put my animals down by myself, nobody standing next to me. It seems like only Bigfoot's the ones that care about me. I used to love to listen to Jake's voice. I'm not in love with you. Just amazed at how you can talk to people to help them. I'm sorry that you have something like maybe a autism. I kind of caught that a few times ago, and I loved his voice. But why do you have to feel so guilty? If you feel guilty, then you know you're wrong, and if you're wrong, you need to try to make up what you did and make it right. You talk to your supervisor and say you made a mistake. That you can look it up on Google and find out why it happened. Not really why, but can it happen? I don't understand why men can talk about their erections, but women can't talk about their orgasms. But the only thing is, it wasn't intentional. I didn't dream about, I don't dream usually about having sex with anybody, because I was sexually abused at the age of 7. And you know, on 988, I'm talking to the people listening to this, I'm not allowed to talk about my sexual abuse. For some reason it's so horrible. It's supposed to be about suicide? Do you not think that being sexually abused doesn't cause me to be suicidal? Because no guy ever looks at me like a beautiful woman that has all this I can't explain the words. I try to keep myself for the guy that I'll marry. And do you give up after the age of 65? When I'm no longer able to have children? Maybe no longer able to have sex. Maybe I'm going to be afraid of it. I don't know. A dream would be somebody with their arms around my shoulders, talking about my abuse and being there for me. Maybe it's kind of a weird fantasy. But those supervisors never ask about my personality, my childhood. And I didn't talk much about it on 988. It's the present that I kind of talked about. About my sister telling me she's never had anything to do with me because I'm emotional. And my multiple started telling me to kill myself after she told me she didn't have anything. She wasn't responsible for me to help me fix my house up, to sell it. And I wonder who says that when you're asking for help, when you think that you're a Christian. And what is Christianity anyway? Because the guy that they call Jesus, who had never had that name, his last name was Christ. It wasn't his last name. And the word Christ means office of God. And I have the office of God in me too. I say that if you could put a red, what is it called, a infrared light on Satan, he'd be standing right behind my butt every day. He's been the worst enemy in my life. And I say to myself, when I was up there in heaven as an angel and wanted to come down here, I thought I could come down here and beat his ass. Sometimes I say I'm going to take, excuse me, sometimes I'm going to take that gift of lightning that I've got and I'm going to shove it up his ass. Zzz, you know. But unfortunately, he won't die. And even the giants, you know, if you cut their heads off, then they will die. But as long as you injure them, they grow back. If you don't know that. Someday soon, I'm going to do a life story. So I guess I can't kill myself, right? And this isn't a joke. To me, the supervisors over 911 Illinois don't care if I kill myself. So why do they have a 988? Because all those people are like fallen Satan. So maybe I'm calling the supervisors Satan because they don't care about me. They don't care if I kill myself. I don't have a reason to keep, I can say I have a reason to stay on this world because Bigfoot keeps bringing me back from the dead, and because I'm supposed to be able to perform miracles before the new earth comes. So, somebody texted me. So anyway, this was my night of tyranny, of needing somebody to be there, maybe all night, maybe through the morning. My dog's name was Flashy Lady. I had a dog named Piazzadora. Pain in the ass, but adorable. She was so cute, and everybody loved her, and she was just a wonderful dog to have. She was about 12 years old when she died. I had to put her down too because she had emphysema. They called it old age emphysema in dogs. I never smoked, so she couldn't got it from there. Maybe from all the chemicals they put around keeping the mice and roaches out. So I got a new dog the day after I put Piazzadora down, and this was Flashy Lady. Her name was Flashfire, and I named it her Flashy Lady, and she was scared for a little bit, and I wanted to pretty her up, put clothes on her. Oh, I never did that with the other dogs, because I showed dogs. And I put clothes on her, and she didn't like it at first. So I went and got her some more clothes, and I put them on her, and they were pretty dresses. And she went to the leash and asked me to put it on her, and I put it on her, and she asked me to take her outside. Took her outside, and she went over to the neighbor's house, and he comes out, and she's like, "Look at me! I got this beautiful house, beautiful." Dress, and her favorite outfit was tarantula at Halloween. Yep, must have felt good on her. It was heavy and it was balanced on her with the legs, and I wanted to get a picture of her someday with it, but I don't know what happened. It might have gotten wet and damp, and when they get like that on a porch, they kind of get smelly, and I probably wound up throwing it away, and I looked for another one, but she never did get another one. I walked her a lot when I first got her. I never get her house broke, so I had to put cloth pillow pads down. But now that she was old and couldn't get around and couldn't see it all, she just peed anywhere she wanted to, and I wasn't going to yell at her or complain. I'm glad that the veterinarian put her down for free, gave me a little heart with her paws on it and her name on it, and I brought her home, and she's in the freezer because I want to cremate her, but I don't have the $300 it costs for them to send her off to be cremated. And I'll have to find other places, maybe, if I don't wind up ending my life. I'll have to put a message on the freezer. 988 sets me off. I'm glad there's people out there that do watch this video. I noticed there's almost 200 people. I used to talk about my animals, and I enjoyed having the jury with my chickens. I lost everything. All the animals that I had outdoors. Foxes and coyotes and I think a wolf, and basically, yeah, weasels are the worst. Anybody out there know a little tiny farm? No, not too little. 10, 20 acres maybe. So I can grow food for the animals and have a garden for me and have chickens, ducks, turkeys, geese, goats, and maybe a miniature donkey. The whole shebang. The geese with the Sebastopol geese. I love the ducks with the pom-poms on their head. I love the silkies and the frizzles and the naked necks and all the different colored eggs that all the chickens can lay. Rainbow eggs. I've seen a Dutch chicken that lays these beautiful blue eggs. Has anybody got any ideas of how I'm going to find somebody to get married? Yeah, God, says Jake. Begun to wonder who I'm talking to sometimes, if it's Bigfoot or God. I'm sure God, Jake don't want to marry me. I don't know anything about him. But I enjoy his voice. And God says, amongst all things, I miss God. I'm not sure how long I was in an angel in heaven. Maybe 8,999,000, because I've been around for 9 billion years, and my folks will laugh and say, no, not 9 billion, I'm not a billion, but 9 billion. What do they know? I don't know. Maybe they know more than I do, because I don't remember what they remember. You know, the one thing I want in life is for everybody to know the real me, who I am, the love that I have for all humanity, the love that's about more than you can measure, just as much as Yeshua does. And anybody want to know what Yeshua's name is today? He's in the 8th dimension. His name is Sonata. And his name was Yeshua when he was here. And he married Mary Magdalene. That was the wedding in the Bible. This guy was telling me, no, he never got married. This disciple said he went on to another world without his progeny. He didn't die. He lived in Scotland. with Mary Magdalene. And he had children. 3 to be, as far as I know. 2 boys and a girl. You know, you can say you're sorry, but does it mean anything? And there's another pet peeve I have. Well, several pet peeves, of course. I was going to name my dog grooming shop Pites' Pet Peeve, but I'm changing my last name, so that's out. But my pet peeve is for when you talk to a counselor and they go, and they don't use words. I forgot the other pet peeve. I guess I'll remember here in a minute. Oh, now I know. I'll remember what it is. My one is when you're having problems and somebody comes to you and they don't see the needs you have, and you say, you came on a bad day because I want to kill myself. There's nobody gives a shit. And they say, I'll pray for you. That is a cop-out. You say, I pray for you because you don't want to take the time to help the needy. Because really, you say you're going to pray for it, but you never do. It's a cop-out. It's any of you listening to me say the same thing. I'm going to pray for you, and then you don't. And when you say something about, really? And they say, well, it does work. I haven't seen it work in me yet. But, of course, I don't have to pray for God to see that I'm in need. Otherwise, he wouldn't said he's going to find somebody to marry me. Well, he told me he's going to marry me anyway. I laughed and I said, have a good luck with that. But didn't Sarah say that to God? God doesn't like to be called God. He likes to be called Source. Source or thought. Because there's so many beings out there that call themselves gods. And what I'm going to let you know is, all those of you listening to this, I love you beyond all measure. Yeah. I am who you think I am. In a woman's body. Even those that hurt me, I love you. I just don't know how to deal with those who do hurt me, even if I do love you. Because the restrictions make me feel punished like I did as a child. Like I was rejected every day from that horrible woman of a caretaker. And I lived in Illinois, and not one time, but only one time did she come to visit me, and her last name was Schmid. And I was told to tell her that I liked it where I lived. And I hated it. And my letters to my mother were censored. And so the only words I could say to my real mom was, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, Mom. Because I know she loved me. So, Jake and the supervisors, I hope you're listening. Jake, you have the know-how to talk to those supervisors and release me from those restrictions. And anybody out there listening to this, call 988 and say, I want to talk to anybody in Illinois. Want to talk to the supervisors and tell them, Mitzi, my new name is Janu, but they all know me by Mitzi or Donna. tell them that it's ridiculous. Put these restrictions on something that I had no intentions of knowing what was going to happen when he told me, asked me and my multiples if we were suicidal, because my multiples answered, and it wasn't good what happened with the results. Please, all 190 or 200 of you in Illinois, call 988. And if Jake answers, tell him how you think what happened is wrong, that I didn't mean to have this problem. I didn't want to love anybody on 988, because as a teenager I was wasn't love, but you know what I'm saying. It was like I was caught up in the thought of being able to talk to a guy, wanting to know what he's like and how much money he makes, or if he has a fancy house or an ugly house or something that nobody can live in or whatever. I don't live in this house that I like. But if you can't get a hold of Jake, ask for the supervisors for me. I've been bombarded with all those phone calls from all you that I love. And I was an angel in heaven. I can guarantee you that. I volunteered to come here to make things different. And I think Satan has made me different. But it hasn't stopped me from forgiving. It hasn't stopped me from loving. But I know what it's like to be on the earth and be treated like Yeshua was. I know almost every step of his way. My plea to all of you and to Jake to change the restrictions so I feel like I have life to live. Because with the restrictions, and I need to call more than 3 times, pushes me to want to not be here. And I'd rather like all of you and appreciate all of you without you hanging up on me when I need you. You know, I'm going to sing a song. When I was in school, or when I was in church, there was a song. It was basically a plea. Oh, hear, O Lord, the sound of my call. Hear, O Lord, and have mercy. My soul is longing for the glory of you. Oh, hear, O Lord, and answer me. Why do I no longer feel like I've a place to stay? Oh, take me where someone will care, so fear will go away. Oh, hear, O Lord, the sound of my cry. Hear, O Lord, and have mercy. My soul is longing for the glory of you. Oh, hear, O Lord, and answer me. Good night, people. And each and every one of you, I hope you can feel the love I have for you. Because that angel's still somewhere inside of me, and she's going to come out someday, and you're all going to know who I am. And maybe I will too. So maybe I am the Holy Spirit. Because the Holy Spirit's a female. Her name is Sophia. I don't know. But I do. I was respected in heaven, and I'm not respected down here. I don't know if there's anybody that respects me. 2 friends. I have 2 friends. One's in Des Moines and one's in Quincy, Illinois, and I'm in the middle. No, not in the middle, because Des Moines is 5 hours away. Quincy is 1 hour away. But I'm pleading to all of you in Illinois. Call 988. Jake answers. Tell him what you want from him to turn things around, to make me feel happy. I'm not in love with him, but I learned to love myself and be happier. I can't love myself as long as I feel rejected and punished and not understood. Above all, I want to be understood and know that I all love you. And if you can't get Jake, ask for the supervisors. Please. Good night.